Okay. This is called Our First Home. We moved to Ronkonkoma in 1979, our first home. I was so excited. The previous owners had moved to Alabama or Georgia or somewhere down south months earlier and were renting out the house to a family. We contracted to buy the house in March, but we couldn't move in until September when the tenant's lease was up. It was the longest 6 months ever. All I could think about was the house, how I was going to decorate it. I moved the furniture around in my brain, but I couldn't remember some of the details. How big was the living room? Would my curtains be long enough for the bedroom windows? What color was the bathroom tile? Sometime in May or June, when I couldn't stand it any longer, I called the tenants to ask if we could come over to take some measurements. They agreed, and we arrived with a tape measure, a camera, a pad of lined paper, and a pencil. I took some black and white pictures, and I measured everything, the size of every room, every window, and every doorway. I don't think Rich had any idea I was planning such an assault. We must have been there a couple of hours when he finally convinced me that we had overstayed our welcome, and it was time to leave. When we got back to the apartment, I pulled out a pad of graph paper and I got started. I made a diagram of every room in the house. The next day at work, I made copies on the Xerox machine. Then I cut and pasted the rooms together until I had a layout of the whole house. Then I measured all our furniture and cut out smaller pieces of graph paper for each piece. Now I could move the furniture around on my graph paper while I anxiously awaited for moving day. The magic day finally arrived. We rounded up some friends to help move our belongings. We were excited to show off our new home. Our friends, however, didn't have quite the reaction we were looking for. They just smiled and nodded. "Oh, they said. They apparently thought we actually liked the bright blue shag carpeting in the living room and dining room, and the kitchen cabinets that were painted black and had strips of ebony stained gouged wood tacked on the front. The ebony stained wood was repeated in the 3/4 inch thick moldings that were attached with 10 penny nails throughout the living areas. The dining room had 2 different wallpapers. One was a solid red, and the other was black with silver figurines. The light fixture looked like a headpiece that might have belonged to Brunhilde. One of the bedrooms had pink paneling in 2 different shades. Another bedroom had a mural that had been painted by the owner's cousin on Sanitas wallpaper. The wallpaper in the half bath resembled a quilt with various patterns in brown, tan, and orange. No, it wasn't our taste, but we had heeded the advice of our real estate agent who said to look beyond the decorations. Those things can always be changed. And she was right. The house had good bones. It was structurally sound. The floor plan worked for us. The neighborhood was quiet and the school district was well rated. So what if we had to change the carpet, remove some wallpaper, and paint the kitchen cabinets? We could do that. And we did, although it took quite a bit longer than I had originally anticipated. We did eventually get rid of the blue shag carpet and the ugly kitchen cabinets and the hideous wallpaper. But as anyone who has ever owned a home will tell you, you're never really done. As soon as you finish one project, there's another one to take its place. I'm ready to tackle the kitchen again. Does anybody know where my graph paper is?